Yes, 2-5 is here. Sports reports is ordered. We got a big one tonight emanating from the city of Las Vegas, Sin City. Like, review, subscribe, share, rate, do all the free things, do all the good things. So, yesterday an awesome day of football or what? Iowa's out here throwing touchdown passes to their wide receivers. The Gators are getting smacked around. Things just feel right. So you enter tonight. Of course, my Noles play tomorrow on Labor Day, and I'll be here to preview that tomorrow. But let's talk about LSU and USC, the Sin City Showdown. Both of these teams coming into this game with a lot to prove, with a lot on the line. And even though it's only week one, this is the type of game that sets a tone to your season. We look at LSU. Talent everywhere, as always. Maybe the secondary not up to par of what we're used to. USC, they didn't have a defense anyway. But Miller Moss came in the bowl game, 6 touchdown passes against Louisville out of nowhere. Everybody was panicking doom because Caleb Williams was leaving. They might be all right. But when I look at both of these teams, I take it back to the original Mortal Kombat. You remember the mirror match? That's what these two teams are. The first stop may win this game, but which team can get the stop? That's the mystery. That's what we're watching to find out. So, both teams come in with new defensive coordinators. You know, LSU grabbed a defensive coordinator from Missouri. So, you know, they feel good about him. They feel good about their chances this year of being improved on defense. I tend to agree with them because, you know, Blake Baker is one of the best defensive coordinators in the country. So they should theoretically be somewhat improved on defense. But like I said, I just don't feel the talent in the secondary is necessarily there. But we're talking about a team with Harold Perkins, right? They're going to get pressure on the quarterback. So how is USC's offensive line going to hold up? On the other side, you got D'Anton Lynn coming in from UCLA as defensive coordinator. He took UCLA from being ranked number 85 in defense to top 15. So the credentials are there. The question is, do they have the talent? They have Bear Alexander. They have Achille Arnold. So USC has talent. Now, when we think about this game in the context of what we think we know that the SEC plays that physical brand of football. And that's what makes the SEC so great is not only do they have the best talent, but they'll also push you around and beat your ass too. So can USC hold up to that? Because we saw USC struggle with teams like, say, Oregon, who present physical issues, but they aren't the SEC. You know, they had issues with Washington, you know, who gives you physical issues, but are not the SEC. But I don't want to live on the SEC reputation. You know, when I look at LSU, looking at offense, they lost Jaden Daniels, Mr. Heisman Trophy, 50 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Malik Neighbors is a New York Giant. Brian Thomas is a Jacksonville Jaguar. Logan Diggs is not there anymore. So who's going to run the ball for LSU? Because if you remember, Jaden Daniels was the leading rusher last year by nearly 400 yards. And he was the quarterback, for those of you not following. You know, then when you look at it, you know, USC, Marshawn Lloyd, you know, Caleb Williams is gone. Brendan Rice is gone. Mario Williams gone. So both of these teams have a lot of questions on the offensive side of the ball. So I know that we both think of this game in the context of defense and we say, hey, first to 35 wins. But it might be a rough start for these offenses. More so USC, you know, because Garrett Nussmeier has been around. He knows the system. He's played in some mop-up duty. We saw Miller Moss in the bowl game, but he doesn't really have a lot of experience to hang his hat on. So when you're trying to handicap this game, you almost get stuck looking at reputation. You almost get stuck looking at things that have happened in the past. And while you try to avoid doing that, You think about seeing Lincoln Riley play against SEC defenses, or coach against SEC defenses, I should say, and it didn't go so well. So as I peel it back, Brian Kelly is the type of coach that has won everywhere that he's gone. Lincoln Riley, we remember him from Oklahoma. Now he's at USC, not necessarily having the same sustained success that he had at Oklahoma going off of last season. But just 2 years ago, they were in the Cotton Bowl. If they could have just beat Utah once out of 2 times, another physical team, they would have been in the playoff. But alas, they didn't. They weren't. So when I'm looking at this game, I have to pick LSU because I expect LSU to push USC around the yard. I expect LSU to knock USC on their ass. LSU has a top 5 to 8 offensive line in the country. So when you have 2 teams that have the weaknesses that they have on defense, you have to find where the advantages exist. LSU has the better offensive line. For my money, they have the better quarterback. USC has the better running back. LSU has the better receivers, or at least with Kyron Lacy. LSU has the best defensive player. So even though the whole defense as a whole may not be up to snuff, USC doesn't have anything that matches their best defensive player. So I'm going with LSU in this game, and I'm going to call the score 35-24 Tigers. So let me know what you think. Who do you got winning in this game? And then, of course, Sports Reports as ordered. We'll be back at you with some college football wrap-up and some bold NFL predictions. Don't forget, NFL Thursday night, Ravens Chiefs. Like, review, subscribe. 2-5 out.